Hey everyone, what's up? Jason here, and you are watching Super Nintendo Collection Quest, the monthly video where I go over my recent Super Nintendo game pickups, play through them a little bit, do a little review, see if it's a game I might like to come back to, and you will have a chance to win a free game for the system of your choice.
As a kid, I loved my NES, but when I got my Super Nintendo, that was it. Great graphics, sound, and gameplay, I was hooked. Some of my fondest gaming memories are from playing some of the greatest RPG, adventure, action platform, and multiplayer games on the SNES. It is my goal to own every North American Super Nintendo game released. So, follow me on my quest to Super Nintendo completion.
So some of you may have seen my game room tour video that I posted recently, and in there I had mentioned that I haven't moved my NES games into this room yet. Well, I just finally got the shelf put in now, so I've got my shelf in here and my games. So this shelf will hold 810 games, which is enough for basically every North American cartridge and then some. So it'll have a little bit of space left over, but as you can see, it's pretty sparse right now. I've got quite a ways to go still on that. I'm not really actively collecting for the NES, but if I see something I like, I'll pick it up. Well, that's enough about that. We're here for the Super Nintendo games today. So this month I picked up number 572, Doom. It's Doom on the Super Nintendo. It's somewhat odd that when you start this game up, it pops up a Doom splash screen briefly, and then immediately puts you right into the game at a preset difficulty. Like, was it really too much effort to add the menu screen? The game features 22 levels from the original PC version, only it doesn't use the same engine. Due to limitations of the system, the engine had to be completely rewritten, leaving out many features of the original. The graphics are also extremely pixelated in this game, and it runs in a smaller window with a black frame border. I assume this was done to speed things up a bit, as the Super FX2 chip struggles with this game, outputting a very sluggish 12 frames per second. There are no saves in this version, you'll just have to play it through till the end in one go. In case you haven't guessed, this is not the version of Doom you should be playing. But it is still rather impressive that they actually got it running on the Super Nintendo in the first place. This is not a system best suited for 3D graphics. One other interesting tidbit is this game is one of only 3 non-gray game cartridges produced for the Super Nintendo in North America. Sporting a bright red cartridge shell, it stands out as a warning in your collection, implying stop. If you're thinking about playing this game, don't. Number 573, Dirt Trax FX. Dirt Trax FX is a dirt bike racing game that uses the Super FX chip to produce a 3D polygonal environment in a similar fashion to Star Fox. You can choose from 8 different characters and bikes ranging from 50cc to 500cc. There's a password system to resume your progress, and the game can be played in a 2-player mode, but the frame rate does suffer a bit from this. These FX games were pretty cool back when they originally came out. The 3D modes were exciting at the time because the Super Nintendo was mainly a 2D system. Yes, it had Mode 7 built into the system, but Mode 7 was extremely limited on what it could do. It was really just scrolling and rotating one flat plane along with placing 2D sprites, while the FX chip games could allow for multiple surfaces as seen here, creating a truly 3D terrain. Unfortunately, 3D doesn't tend to age very well, especially not on the Super Nintendo. Number 574, Legend. Legend is a pretty satisfying side-scrolling beat-em-up in a medieval setting. You can play 1 or 2-player co-op, which is always a great thing to see on the Super Nintendo. Graphics and sound are great, the levels are pretty long, and there's a boss battle at the end of each. In one of the stages, it kind of sounds like they ripped off music from ActRaiser or Soul Blazer. The character movement is pretty slow and there isn't much variety to the combat. You have a jump kick, sword swing, and magic attacks. The game was designed by only 2 people, which is pretty impressive for the time, especially considering the tools that were available back then. The developers of Legend also made a Japanese-only game called Iron Commando, which plays very similar and reused many of the game's sound effects. Overall, it's a great game, and I can't wait to come back to it and play with a friend. Number 575, Super Baseball 2020. Super Baseball takes place in the year 2020 when baseball players are either robots or humans wearing performance-enhancing armor, sensors, and jetpacks. The stadium's been upgraded with glass armor to protect the fans. Basically just has a futuristic look to it. The game was originally released on the Neo Geo in 1991 and eventually ported to the Super Nintendo in '93. The game has a very arcadey feel to it, probably due to it originally being on the Neo Geo. During gameplay, you will earn money which can be used to enhance your player's hardware, make them stronger or more accurate, and there is a password system to resume your progress. I normally don't care for sports games, but this one was actually pretty fun. I would play this again. And I can't wait for the year 2020 when baseball will be just like this. Number 576, Super Battle Tank War in the Gulf. Super Battle Tank War in the Gulf will put you in the cockpit of an M1A1 tank. You'll take on several missions where you'll need to take out tanks, Scud missile launchers, and choppers while watching out for mines and enemy fire. This game is played from the soldier's perspective right in the cockpit. It'll start out pretty easy and slowly ramp up the difficulty as you progress, making it an easy game to get into. Not really my type of game, but it's certainly not bad. Number 577, Super Mario RPG. Now this is a game that I've surprisingly never played before. I know a lot of people really like this game, so I was a little bit worried. This was released in 1996. Would this game still hold up well for someone that's never played it before, almost 20 years after its original release? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Super Mario RPG, developed by Square under the guidance of Nintendo, was a huge success. Many critics praised it for its gorgeous graphics at the time. The game utilizes pre-rendered 3D graphics for many of its sprites. I find the graphics do look pretty good on a CRT monitor, but a sharp digital display will detail the struggles that the system had with a small color palette and memory optimization while using pre-rendered graphics. I personally feel that games with simple, hand-drawn sprites tend to age better on the system, like Super Mario World for instance. The story isn't by any means deep or engaging, but I did find the interaction between characters, especially Bowser, to be rather entertaining. This is really the first glimpse we get at Bowser's personality. It's pretty funny watching him act tough around Mario, and then at the same time needing Mario's help to get his castle back. And it's kind of cool that you will eventually have the princess and Bowser in your party fighting alongside Mario, instead of the typical save the princess from Bowser story that we usually get. At first I found the game to move really slow and the RPG elements are very basic. I probably would have stopped playing early on if I weren't forcing myself to give it a fair chance. But after my party hit like around level 7 or so, I found I was actually starting to really get into the game and enjoy myself. This is a very beginner-friendly RPG in that it isn't overly complicated, it doesn't require any grinding to make it through the game, and there's no random encounters. But that isn't to say an RPG veteran should avoid this title. In fact, you might just find it to be a refreshing change from the more serious RPGs as I have. I haven't yet completed Super Mario RPG, but I fully intend to come back to this game and finish it. It's rather enjoyable. Not the best role-playing game, not the best Mario game, but I think it has broad appeal. Mario fans will enjoy this game, RPG fans, those that are RPG curious, or just fans of Super Nintendo games will all find something to enjoy here. Alright, so that's 6 games I've added to my Super Nintendo collection this month. Making pretty good progress. I'm up to 577 games now and have just under 150 more to go. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. But anyway, let's get on to the game giveaway. So this month's winner for the random free game is Golden Knight 582. Congratulations. Send me a private message. Let me know which address you'd like the free game sent to, and let me know which system you would like the random free game for. That's it. If you would like to enter next month's game giveaway, all you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed. So subscribe if you aren't already. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.